But if you want to be successful in this business, you need to know how to do both. All right, people, let's get into it. I am Garrett, and when clients ask for a bid or a proposal or an RFP, they are asking for something very specific, and it's really important as a creative to know what they're asking for to make sure that you can give them exactly what they're looking for in order to get the work. No, it's not specific to a job, right? If you're doing a music video for a record label, if you're doing a commercial for an agency, if you're working directly with a client, they're all going to want to know the same information. And that information is going to be the framework by which all of the creative stuff is built. So knowing how to put a proposal together, what needs to be included in that proposal, is going to help you get a lot more work because you're going to be giving them exactly what they want. Proposals and bids kind of get broken down into two categories. There's the technical components of it, and then there is the creative components. So generally in the beginning, the first thing that they'll want is the technical. Sometimes they'll ask for the creative, but generally it will just be a standard proposal and bid. And that's broken down into 7 key parts. The first is the About Me section. If you are looking for work, the chances are other people are. Or if you have been asked for an RFP or an RFB, the chances are they're asking a ton of other people for that. So after your cover page, the first thing that you should have is a bio. Short, quick, 1 paragraph about who you are, what you do, what you offer, something that's going to differentiate you from everyone else. Because while everyone is a filmmaker in this industry, or while everybody is a creative, you're the only version of you. So having a bio at the top is a really good way of introducing yourself to them and endearing yourself to them, so then that way you stand out from everyone else. Don't make it too long, keep it short, keep it sweet, but have a bio. Next is the project overview or the project goal. This is where we would write out a very simple overview of what the deliverables are. What are they paying for, and how are we getting it to them? So if you are shooting a standard kind of like interview style video for a corporate overview video, we would say, okay, the goal of this project is to shoot a 2 to 3 minute documentary style interview series with the top executives of the company for the company's website and social media platforms. We'll hand over all of the deliverables in both digital and physical formats, whether you're giving them a hard drive or you're giving them just a digital download file, whatever. All of those details would be put in the project overview statement. That just ensures that right off the bat, we're all working toward the same goal. Everything in this document is to achieve this goal. This is the thing we're doing. Next is the project description. This is the kind of step-by-step of how we're going to go about producing the project we just described. So for me, I break it down into planning, pre-production, production, and post-production. Here are all of the steps that we're going to take in order to best achieve that final result. This also is important because that way the client has an expectation of exactly what the process looks like that we're going to take to produce the final result that they're asking for. Next is the project budget and budget breakdown. We talked about the basics of budgeting. I'll put a link up over there for that, but this is where you show them this is what's going to cost, both in the grand total number and then how that breaks down. Now, you don't have to give them a line item budget, meaning that they don't need to know where every single dollar is going to every single person and thing, but it is a breakdown of this is how much we're spending on pre-production because of this and this. This is how much production is going to cost because of this, 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 and this, and this is how much post is going to cost because of this, 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 and this. It doesn't have to be super detailed, but it needs to be more detailed than just the final number, because if they look at the final number and it seems super high or super low or right kind of what they were expecting, the breakdown is what justifies that. This is where those dollars are going, so this is how we get to this final number. The next one, which is probably the most crucial, is the project timeline. How long is it going to take? This needs to be detailed either just to days and weeks or to the very dates if they have a deadline that they're trying to hit. But if it's going to take us this many days or weeks to do pre-production, this many days or weeks to do production, this many days or weeks to do post-production. So if we start on this date, we end on this date. This is creating deadlines for both you and them, because in a lot of these projects, you require things from them just as much as they require things from you. Like if I'm going to do a product shoot for a client, I need them to send me the product. If they don't send me the product by this date, then I'm not going to be able to shoot it by this date, edit it by this date, and deliver it here. So a project timeline is a step-by-step of, I will do this by this date, I need this from you by this date, this then will be completed by this date, and so on and so forth, to then reach this end date goal. That way, anywhere along the way, if there are hiccups, hangups, or things, we then can adjust the expectations of the delivery earlier in the process. That way, we don't just get to the end and all of a sudden it's like, I'm gonna need 4 more days. And they're like, well, what the hell? We need this now, right? It's avoiding all of that. The final thing is the acceptance of the project. This is a signature sheet. This is where it's like, this is the project, this is what you're paying, this is what you agree that we're doing, and then they sign it. Having a signed document that says this is the process of what we're doing, and this is the thing that we're delivering, this is how long it's gonna take, and this is how much it's gonna cost, keeps everyone honest and on the same page. So then that way, if you kind of run into what's called scope creep, where the client keeps coming back and wanting more and more and more and more, you can then say, that's fine, we can do that, but we're gonna charge you for that because of course that's not in this original document, and you have it signed by them for what they agreed to. It just protects you and it protects them. It protects them because it keeps you honest about your timeline and about your budget. How much are you actually spending? How much is it actually gonna cost? And it protects you because it shows a detailed look at the scope of the work and the process that you are going to go in delivering it to them. So it's a mutual document that is made to help everyone stay on the same page all the way through the process. And if things change or if things add on, that's totally fine, but then that needs to be a separate document for that separate work. Paperwork's not always the most fun, but it definitely is the thing that's going to save your ass in a pinch, because if you don't have anything signed by a client and it's your word versus their word, you're either going to do way more work for way less profit, or everything's going to fall apart, and that's not what you want. That's the technical side of a proposal. Now let's talk about the creative side. With a creative proposal, this is then where you would put together mood boards, right? Again, link up there to that. Style sheets. This is where you'd show examples of other stuff. This is where you'd put case studies together of works that are similar to yours. This is where we would explain the story, right? The scenes that we want to do. Put together a sizzle reel. Sizzle reel is where you cut together a montage of pre-existing stuff from other videos, movies, shows, music videos, whatever, to get the look and feel for the piece that you're trying to create. This is the thing that sells them on the vision of what you have, where this sells them on the technical stuff. Most creatives have such a hard time bridging between the two, but if you want to be successful in this business, you need to know how to do both. A client is going to know exactly what they're getting from you and what they can expect from you. And in turn, it really gives you the starting point in your pre-production because you know what the aesthetic tone and feel is, while keeping you accountable on your time management because you know exactly how long it's going to take and what it's going to cost to do. That was a lot to digest in a short period of time, so feel free to scrub back and go through that again if you will. I hope you found this helpful. And if you did, do me a favor, give it a like. If you want more stuff like this, comment down below on what you'd like me to make videos on and hit subscribe. And as always, I'll see you in the next episode.